For years, millions of Gunsmoke fans have been intrigued by a mystery that seemed never to have an answer. Why did James Arness, the iconic Marshal Matt Dillon, never kiss Miss Kitty, played by Amanda Blake, despite the obvious romantic tension between them? Was it out of respect, contract obligations, morality, or something much deeper and more controversial? Today, we'll reveal what really happened behind the scenes, the backstage secrets and decisions that completely shaped this love story that never happened. Many believe it was just a script choice, but what few know is that there were hidden pressures, behind-the-scenes disagreements, and even rumors of personal conflicts between the stars. Sources close to the production revealed that James Arness had a deeply personal reason, something tied directly to his life off camera, which could have ruined his image if it had come to light at the time. And the most surprising part, Amanda Blake also held a secret, a truth that explains why she accepted that distance, even while genuinely loving Arness's character. But before we dive into this untold Hollywood mystery, if you love real, hidden stories from classic cinema, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That helps YouTube understand you enjoy this kind of content and keeps recommending similar videos. Also, your like helps this video reach more people who love the Wild West and its legends. If you want to support the channel even more, consider sending a super thanks. It helps us continue our research and bring even rarer, deeper stories. But if you can't contribute financially, simply comment below. Which part of this story surprised you the most? And pay attention. Stay until the end, because the final revelation will shock you, and forever change the way you see James Arness and Miss Kitty. For 2 decades, millions of viewers watched week after week as Sheriff Matt Dillon and the charming Miss Kitty shared silent glances, subtle gestures, and dialogue filled with nearly palpable emotional tension. Gunsmoke audiences eagerly anticipated the moment when this restrained bond would turn into a kiss, confirming the obvious love between them. But that kiss never happened. And it's precisely this absence that made James Arness and Amanda Blake one of the most mysterious and fascinating duos in American television history. Behind the cameras, the reasons went far beyond the script. James Arness, known for his reserved temperament and unshakable discipline, firmly believed that the strength of his character lay in composure, firmness, and moral authority. In rare interviews, he said, Matt Dillon could not allow himself emotional weaknesses, because the West was ruthless, and any display of vulnerability could be interpreted as weakness or indecision. To him, a kiss represented a vulnerability Dillon could never afford. But what few knew was that this decision also reflected something deeply personal. Arness carried real-life traumas and scars that shaped his relationships, both on-screen and off. The horrors he endured during World War II, where he was severely wounded in combat, left permanent marks. He not only fought external enemies but also battled inner fears, insecurities, and memories of loss that he never let the public know. Amanda Blake, by contrast, was quite different in many ways. Outgoing, charming, and charismatic, Blake loved interacting with the crew, improvising scenes, and exploring Miss Kitty's emotional depth. She saw her relationship with Dillon as an opportunity to deepen the humanity of both characters. But Arness, with his extreme self-control and sense of responsibility to the character, insisted on maintaining emotional distance. This difference in approach created moments of subtle tension behind the scenes. Amanda Blake later admitted in interviews that there was real chemistry between them, a connection that went far beyond what could be written in the script. She described James as someone who could see through you, even when he said nothing, and whose silence carried a power that words could never reach. During filming, there were countless attempts to include more intimate scenes, where Dillon and Kitty came closer, but Arness always vetoed them. Production sources recall that on one occasion, Blake rehearsed a scene where Dillon embraced her, and Arness intervened, smiling enigmatically, but making it clear that the approach would not be part of the episode. He believed that the audience's imagination was more powerful than any kiss on screen, and that by leaving the love suggested, but never consummated, the story became more enduring and meaningful. Many fans interpreted Arness's silence as coldness, indifference, or even disdain, but the truth was far more complex. He was a man of principles, deeply marked by loss, who valued respect above all. The tension between Dillon and Kitty mirrored Arness's own life. He could love and respect, but never fully allow vulnerability in front of the public. This decision also had repercussions within Gunsmoke. Writers and producers often debated the need to create an explicit romance between the leads to boost ratings, but Arness always stood firm. convinced that breaking the mystery would harm the essence of the series. This resistance fueled legends and rumors among fans. Some believed James and Amanda had a brief secret fling off camera, others swore there were unresolved resentments, while many claimed the relationship was pure friendship and mutual respect. Even with all the speculation, one thing was clear. The connection between Matt Dillon and Miss Kitty transcended any physical gesture. Every glance, pause, and silence conveyed more emotion than any kiss could. Over the years, audiences grew accustomed to the absence of a kiss, and that absence became part of the series' charm. Arness's choice transformed the chemistry between the characters into something almost mythical. Something viewers projected with their own expectations, dreams, and emotions. Arness, with his reserved nature, believed some stories work best when left incomplete. In rare and controversial interviews, he said, "What is left unsaid is often more powerful than what is shown," suggesting that the mystery between him and Blake was not just a script decision, but a life philosophy. What truly made Dillon and Kitty timeless icons wasn't just the Gunsmoke script, but the silent chemistry between James Arness and Amanda Blake, a connection that transcended the screen and reached the audience's hearts. Every lingering look, restrained gesture, and carefully measured pause carried emotional weight far stronger than any kiss. Arness understood deeply that the power of storytelling lies in suggestion, and leaving things to the audience's imagination made the story infinitely more powerful. He believed that revealing everything would ruin the magic. Amanda Blake, in turn, masterfully leveraged this tension. With her ability to convey emotion through glances, subtle smiles, and delicate gestures, she created scenes brimming with romance even without physical contact. This combination of restraint and expression provided a unique experience, allowing fans to project their own feelings and desires onto Dillon and Kitty's relationship. The absence of a kiss became a sophisticated narrative tool that intensified emotional tension and ensured the series remained relevant and captivating decades later. Arness emphasized in interviews, "Silence is more eloquent than any word, and restraint more powerful than any gesture." This philosophy permeated every scene, defining not just Dillon and Kitty's relationship, but his approach as an actor and a man. To him, revealing intimate feelings explicitly would expose weaknesses Dillon could never have, and, by extension, that he himself, a man marked by war and life, could not allow. The audience recognized this authenticity. Each episode carried palpable tension, a sense that something monumental was happening beneath the surface. Fans realized they didn't need a kiss to feel love, respect, care, and the silent connection between characters were enough to create an intense emotional experience. Arness's decision to never kiss Miss Kitty had consequences that went beyond the Gunsmoke set and became a lasting cultural legacy. Dillon and Kitty became symbols of integrity, respect, and restrained love, a lesson that many writers and actors would carry forward. The absence of a kiss turned the characters' chemistry into something almost mythical, allowing viewers to become active participants in the story, projecting their own emotions, expectations, and desires onto what might have happened. This groundbreaking approach showed that television could explore complex emotions without relying on explicit physical gestures. Generations of writers studied Gunsmoke as an example of how to build romance, tension, and emotional narrative through silence, glances, and subtlety. Arness's philosophy, that what is left unsaid is often more powerful than what is shown, became a reference for creating timeless, impactful stories. Culturally, Dillon and Kitty became collective icons, representing a type of love that combines respect, patience, trust, and silent chemistry. They proved that love does not need kisses or physical gestures to be intense and memorable. After Gunsmoke ended, James Arness chose to live away from the spotlight, protecting his private life. He devoted himself to family and meaningful projects, always preserving his integrity and respect for Dillon. Arness rarely gave interviews, but when he did, he emphasized that the silent chemistry between Dillon and Kitty reflected his personal convictions about love, respect, and emotional restraint. Amanda Blake remained active in television, theater, and charity work, maintaining a warm and approachable image. In interviews, she revealed that her relationship with Arness was a delicate game of patience, trust, and respect, acknowledging that the unresolved tension was paradoxically the essence of the romance the audience felt. Even with the distance Arness maintained, they shared a bond of friendship, respect, and admiration that lasted for decades. Their work on Gunsmoke solidified Arness as a symbol of integrity and Blake as an icon of charisma and emotion. Arness's decision to never kiss Miss Kitty continues to fascinate. Some see it as coldness. Others view it as a narrative and ethical choice. The truth is layered. It was artistic, preserving Dylan's integrity, and personal, reflecting war trauma and life principles. Dylan and Kitty became archetypes of restrained love, where suggestion and silent tension speak louder than physical gestures. Rumors, misunderstandings, and secret encounters contributed to the duo's legendary aura, even without confirmation. The audience recognized something extraordinary. Each episode carried romantic tension beyond the script. The absence of a kiss allowed viewers' imaginations to become part of the story, making Dylan and Kitty symbols of emotional sophistication and mutual respect. Amanda Blake and James Arness showed that love, respect, and connection do not need physical gestures to exist. Dylan and Kitty inspired new generations of actors and writers to explore sophisticated, subtle romances, proving that silence, the unsaid, and suggestion can be more impactful than any physical act. Decades later, the story remains alive, reminding us that true emotional impact often lies in restraint, respect, and emotions conveyed without words. And so we arrive at the end of the story few know. The real reason James Arness never kissed Miss Kitty, a love restrained, silent, but eternally impactful on television. This decision, as personal as it was artistic, shows that love doesn't always need to be demonstrated to be felt, and that what is left unsaid can have more power than any gesture. If this story surprised you, subscribe to the channel now and leave a like. It helps YouTube understand that you enjoy this content and allows more incredible stories like this to reach you. We want to hear your opinion. Comment below what surprised you most, which detail shocked or delighted you, because your input helps us continue delivering quality content. And if you want to dive even deeper, don't go away. Click on the video appearing on your screen. It's even more fascinating and filled with secrets and revelations you won't believe. Don't miss it!